Hello everyone, my name is Joshua, who is in charge of technical service of IDC and IEG. Today, I'm going to show you about one of NPort's operation mode, RealCOM mode. About the course, I will introduce RealCOM mode. Then, when we use RealCOM mode, it needs driver. I will also introduce NPort drivers as well. Besides, if you want to test it works or not, there are some test utilities that you can use. After this course, we expect you be able to know the application of RealCOM mode and know the connection behavior of RealCOM mode. And you will also learn how to configure RealCOM and test RealCOM mode after installation. Alright. This is the outline for today's course. First part is also the most important part, when we need RealCOM mode and why we need it. Then, I believe you are eager to know more about RealCOM mode. I will introduce you in more detail. And then, after learning the RealCOM mode, next, you would like to configure RealCOM mode, right? And I will let you know how. When finished configuration, you might find the suitable test utility. That is the last part I will focus on. Okay, now, let's get started from when to use RealCOM mode. In this slide, there are three simple architectures. First, move to the upon one. For traditional approach, computer communicate with device in serial. Then, Ethernet comes up and changes our life. Most of the customers would like to use the merits of Ethernet, extending the distance, so that we can configure or monitor the device in the office. In order to meet the requirement, Mozart provides NPort. But customers want to keep using the serial application when he adds NPort in his setup. RealCOM mode is what he needs. So far, you have known when to apply RealCOM mode, but I believe you would like to know more. In the following slide, we will give you detailed knowledge for RealCOM mode. What is RealCOM mode? The slide illustrates the NPort communication architecture by function block. First, take a look on the block diagram. There are two big blocks. One is PC, the other is indicated to NPort. Let's start from PC application block. The application, which means customer software, and it can communicate with NPort driver by using Win32 API for Windows or use Term.io for Linux. Then, NPort driver can make a connection with firmware in NPort. What is RealCOM mode? As we know, in the past, there is no Ethernet. So system and device use serial cable to communicate. When Ethernet comes, customer would like to use Ethernet to extend distance, but they don't want to change his serial application. In order to keep the application and extend distance at the same time, we provide a powerful solution that we called NPort with RealCOM mode. I have already known that you have learned in the before slide, but there is a question: how to keep serial application after adding NPort? The concept is very simple. Driver will make TCP connection with firmware automatically. Driver is a TCP client and NPort is a TCP server. But for serial application, it only recognizes there are COM ports which actually are provided by NPort. This is our way to provide virtual COM port. When using RealCOM mode, system needs to install NPort driver. You might have a question about driver OS support, but don't worry. NPort supports various operation systems. We support Windows such as Win 7 and Win 8, Unix, and Linux. And the Linux kernel will get updated up to the newest version. If you want, you can download on the official website, and you also can download beta version under MTSC folder. In the figure, it shows the behavior in RealCOM mode. As you can see, there are a computer and several NPorts. For RealCOM mode, NPort Driver installed in computer will actively establish the connection with NPort's firmware. NPort will be on the listen status to wait for the connection. So far, I believe you have a basic knowledge of RealCOM mode, and I think your next question is how to configure RealCOM mode. Of course, I prepared it for you. It is divided into two parts, in NPort Driver Manager side and NPort Firmware side. Now, I'm going to teach you in the following slides. For configurations, you only need 3 steps. The first step is driver installation. Here, we give you an example as NPort Administrator Suite. It's only for NPort 5000 series. It's not only a driver, but used for utility programs that can monitor your NPort and configure your NPort. Step 2 is COM mapping. It is used to set NPort serial port as your host remote COM port. And the last step is firmware settings. You only need to select operation settings to RealCOM mode. Driver installation. The first thing you need to know is where to download the driver, right? Actually, there are 2 types of drivers, official version and beta version, and you can follow the link to get the drivers respectively. If you want to know how to install it, user manual has Windows installation guide, and for Linux, you can find README under Linux driver. For Unix installation guide, it can be found under Unix driver folder. In driver side, after installation, you need to make COM port or TTY port for different OS. For Windows, you need to add COM port, then select Apply to make the settings effective. For Linux, you need to go into the driver folder, then execute the command. If you execute the command with IP address and total ports only, the data port and command port will be assigned automatically. You also can assign data port and command port by menu. For Unix, modify the configuration file mozarttyd.cf. You should add TTY port with IP address and TCP port in the file. After modification, please start mozarttyd daemon with connection timeout and the number of reconnection. For setting NPort's firmware, normally we will use web console or telnet console for settings. You just need to enter the operation mode selection and set RealCOM mode. You can refer to the screenshot in reference. Kindly remind you that you need to save and restart, or the value will be not effective. After setting up, how to determine if RealCOM mode can work? Don't worry, Mozart provides a useful test utility for you. PComm test utility is for Windows. You can download it in our website, and you can refer to the page. After installation, how to use PComm test utility. There are only 3 steps. Step 1. Click the open icon, then you will see the windows for setting parameters. Step 2. Choose the COM port and set parameters. Step 3. Press OK button and then test. For Linux, you can find the Mxterm test utility under MSB Linux driver. Please refer to the figure. But how to use it? Step 1. Choose the communication setup. Step 2. Then you will see the windows for serial settings parameters. After setting, press Ctrl+N to leave. Step 3. Click the dump terminal. Then you can test it. For Linux test, we use cat command. For the test, we need to open two consoles independently. One for read, one for write. Type some characters in right console window and enter. Then the characters will be shown on the other red console window. This is my last line. I made a short conclusion. First one, when to use RealCOM mode? The answer is customer wants to keep using serial application and want to extend distance through NPort. Second, what is RealCOM mode? The answer is NPort provides virtual COM port for serial application. The third, how to configure RealCOM mode? We provide 3-step configuration: driver installation, COM mapping, and firmware settings. The last one, how to use test utility. We provide PComm utility for Windows, Mxterm for Linux, and cat command for Unix. Thanks for your listening, and remember to have a quiz to know how much you have learned.